BARTISM number 13. Words can get you anything you want, or they can get you in a lot of trouble. What you say, how you say it, how fast you say it, the tones you use, all play a role in helping you get what you want, or not. So, talk slower, talk to be understood, not just to be heard. Speak in sound bites. And not just some run-on sentence, just dialoguing, just talking like something incessantly and like never stop. Shut up. Speak in sound bites. Allow the other person to get a word in edgewise. No monologues here for on and on 10 minutes on the phone. Speak in sound bites. Also, don't interrupt. Just had to throw that in there. Was I interrupting? Sorry. Speak for 30 to 60 seconds and then shut up. Let the other person chime in. If you speak for too long and the other person's waiting for their turn, but instead they're accumulating a long list of questions and replies to your 20 topics that you mentioned in 3 minutes, that just makes you look like a rambling fool of the tongue. Plus, it makes them just want to leave the conversation because they never get a chance to be heard. I had to tell that to a friend once. I told him, dude, do you know you talk way too much and you never let me get a word in edgewise? I gave him a few examples. And when he started pausing between statements to allow me to comment on what he said, the conversations we had thereafter were so much more enjoyable. I think he had issues internally that caused him to just keep talking nonstop, as to not allow his own inner voice to be heard. A bad habit he had gotten himself into. I've seen that also happen with other people too, who struggled as well with their own inner demons. In fact, here's an example of what I mean when I say words can get you anything you want, or they can get you in a lot of trouble. One person calls into customer service for a company to ask about, why is this happening? Why is my bill so high? Or whatever. And their words are spoken too quickly. I don't understand why this is this problem. And then what about this? And what about this? I remember paying all this yelling, talking out loud, screaming, fast talk, tone, pitch, everything. Hardly understood, Person number 2, me, for example. Even though there's a problem, maybe the bill isn't exactly the way I thought it would be. Whoa, this bill's like way super high. What's going on? I'll still call in utilizing this thought process of words can get you anything you want, or they can get you in a lot of trouble. So if I yell and talk and scream, I'm probably not going to get the response I need. And I need addressing of this issue, attention on this issue. So I'm going to choose my words wisely. I'm going to say slow to go, slow to understand, easy to comprehend, soft-spoken. The person on the other end receives my description of the problem very nicely. And then, of course, I throw in, which is the upcoming BARTism, a little humor. But the words I use help me get what I want. Hey, I didn't notice that this bill was this high this month. Any magic you can do over there? Maybe some special keys like Control-Shift-Alt-F4 with the pinky on the Enter key? Would that kind of help the bill? Bart, I think I know what you're talking about. Let me do this for you. I can do this and set this and break it up into payments, this or that. And I can totally help. I appreciate, I've had a lot of people call in today. They're yelling at me and they're just rolling over my ears with their talk. But you came across with a different approach, and I really appreciate it. It was just such a breath of fresh air. Thank you so much. I've gone ahead and I've actually given you a little discount on the bill because you haven't had a problem late fee in a long time and this and that. And so actually the bill is smaller and I broke it up into 3 payments. Will that work for you? It certainly will. I really appreciate that. Thanks so much. And there have been other instances where I've been on the phone after somebody tried getting something. Let's say like, I remember this person, they called an insurance company wanting to get some information, this and that, have them do something. And they told me, says, Bart, I tried. Like, okay, give me the phone. Let me try. So I go in the other room. I try. I call. And I come back out of the room and says, all right, I got what we needed. How did you do it? What'd you say? I don't know what you said, but I know what I said. And I implemented the strategy approach. Words can get you anything you want if you say them correctly, use a little humor, and your tone is good and soft-spoken. This approach saves you And the other person on the other line, emotional torment. Imagine getting on the phone and yelling and this and that and calling up and I know you're worried and I know you're under the gun and under stress and, this isn't exactly an easy phone call to make, but grace under pressure. And before you know it, you actually get exactly what you want because you used your words wisely and your tone wisely, right? Exactly. So words can get you anything you want, or they can get you into a lot of trouble. And I've seen people use words to get them in trouble, whether it's with the law or, some authority figure or just something. And their words, they spoke too fast. They didn't speak clearly. They didn't let anyone speak, get a word in edgewise. They didn't talk in soundbites. They didn't shut up. See what I'm saying? All this stuff has an effect at the very end of the day on our emotions. And of course, in the moment too. So words can get you anything you want, if said correctly, or they can get you into a lot of trouble. Which do you choose?